honestly just get right into the questions. We can just get right into it. Okay, first question. Why a dragon girl as your VTuber? Great question. So, I chose a dragon girl because I like dragons. Every single form of media that I love has dragons in it. I love Skyrim. I just really love Skyrim, and I was like, you know, if I was a VTuber, and this is back when all the VTubers I saw were like monster girls or anime girls with like animal type features, I always thought, I want to be like that. I want to be a monster girl, but if I'm going to be a monster girl, I'll be a dragon, because I think dragons are the best. I've always loved dragons. Yup. Next question. Will you play Subnautica with friends when it releases on May 14th? Yes, I will. I plan on playing it. I gotta wait for them to agree, but I asked Seladon if she wanted to play it with me. And she said yeah, so I think I'll be playing it with Seladon. But we'll see. She's kinda got a lot on her plate right now. Next question. What is your favorite month and or specific day of the year? That's a very interesting question. Let me think. I really like... Do I have to give an explanation? Can I just say, like, I really like it? My basic answer is December 25th because I love Christmas. My real obtuse answer that doesn't make any sense, I'm just picking a random day, November 12th. There's just something about November 12th. Something about November 12th just feels right. And if that's your birthday, happy birthday! I think your birthday is the best day of the year. I don't know. I just got a really good feeling about November 12th. Like, the month of November in general is it's a lucky month for me. I like the month of November. Because right after it is December. And December is awesome. I got this question like maybe 10 times. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? This has a proper response. I know it does. It has a proper response that's also a tongue twister. It's like, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, then a chuck. I forgot what it was, though. So I'm just gonna say, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, they would probably give, like, maybe 5 chucks. 5 is a respectable amount of chucks to chuck. Just 5. No more, no less. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? Well, I'd say frequently enough that it crosses my mind enough for me to say I think about it frequently. Whenever I'm in the mood, I have a lot of thoughts on Rome as just like a society. Whenever people say like, we used to live in a society, I usually think of Rome. Rome had a lot of problems, but I think they got a lot of things right. I think the last thing I thought about Rome was just, like this could be a very tricky question. I'm like sweating. I'm like, how do I gotta be careful with how I answer this question. Togas, right? Togas seem pretty cool. All those sculptures with the guys and their dinglings out. I have to be very careful with how I answer this question because people have very, very strong opinions on the Roman Empire. So I'm gonna keep it to like the really banal kind of like, you know, try questions that people don't have to worry or read into too much. Togas, right? I think the last time I really, really thought about Rome was when I was like, it'd be really nice to be lounging on a chair made of gold, being fanned with fronds by two beautiful ladies. That'd be really nice. I was thinking about that. I think about that quite a bit. I was thinking that yesterday when I was running through the park and I got bit by a whole bunch of bugs. I was just like, man, fuck my stupid Chungus life. What a question. Next question. When will you be commenting on Alekirser fan 2837399290438 TikTok account? What happens if I comment on Alekirser fan 2837399290438's TikTok account? Do they explode? Because if they explode, I don't want that to happen. Contrary to popular belief, I care about your well-being, so if I explode you because I comment on your stuff, then I will refrain. I'm just looking out for your well-being. They retire? Well, that's sad. I'm very, very bad about things ending. I'm the kind of person that gets sentimental at the end of, like, you know, whenever I'd be like in a play in like middle school, I was like the designated cry baby. Because whenever it would wrap, I would get so emotional just thinking, oh man, all those rehearsals, all the memories, and now it's coming to a close. I'm a big cry baby. So whenever I think of like end of an era or somebody like retiring, that makes me sad. So that's what happens if I comment. I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment. Endings suck. Too bad. Next question. What is your favorite dinosaur? It's a toss-up between the Triceratops and the pterodactyl. Why? I think they have very funny shapes. They're very interesting. I just like how they're shaped. And like the Triceratops seems like a particularly friendly dinosaur, you know? I used to watch Barney when I was a baby. Yeah, and I think the reason I like pterodactyls is because Aerodactyl was one of my favorite flying types as a Pokemon fan, as a young Pokemon fan. And that's what it's based on. Yeah! How do the Wankies watch the streams while we're trapped in the dungeon? So I'm thinking like a kind of like, you know, you're like strapped to a chair. You have your eyes peeled open by machines. And there's just a big projector screen right in front of you. I kind of imagine that's how the streams happen and how you watch them. But for legal purposes, this is a joke. We do not actually pry people's eyes open and make them watch the streams by force. That is a joke. We don't actually do that here. That is a joke. People watch these willingly, and because I'm very good company. But we don't have eyes, we have TVs for heads. That's true. My mascot for you guys is a guy in a TV, in a suit with a head that is a TV. I would imagine, I feel, I'll think about that some more. Guys or girls? Because we have both in the Wanky audience. We are welcome to all. We are welcome to everybody. Can I be freed from the basement? Was this asked? I feel like this was asked by the same question. No, the same person. No. What are your top 5 romance books and or anime? Top 5 romance anime? Like of all time, all time? Whew. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Ooh, do I have to rank it? Okay, I think my favorite one is Kimi. I don't want. I like Kimi ni Todoke. Toradora, obviously. Yeah, I really like Kimi no Todoke. Toradora. Fuck, it's hard to say. There are so many good ones to choose from. I feel like not mentioning it, it's gonna make me feel bad. Good answer, nephew. I feel like I'm on the chopping block. I like Dress Up Darling. I do like Dress Up Darling. Hot take, I don't know if it's in my top 5, but that's not because Dress Up Darling is bad. I love it. It's just, I have so many options, okay? I love Dress Up Darling, but I don't know if it's in my personal top 5. Horimiya, absolutely. Frieren? Okay, I wasn't sure if you guys would consider Frieren a romance anime, but I personally think it's like the slowest of burns, and I love slow burns, so Frieren is definitely up there. And did I say Your Lie in April? Yeah, so like Kimi no Todoke, Toradora, Frieren, Horimiya, and Your Lie in April are definitely some of my favorites, but that is a non-exhaustive list because I really love romance anime. I love the genre of romance. I love it. I live for it. It makes my heart happy. Now rank 'em. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. That is also a very good one. That is also a very good one. Fuck, we're gonna need to make like a top 10 or something. This is like the most stressful question of the night. I've never seen Darling in the Franxx. I've never seen it. I do like 100 Girlfriends, but I didn't finish it. So I don't have, I usually can't really rank or think about like how much I like an anime until I've gone through enough of it to have an opinion. Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten is one that I enjoy. I don't know if I'd call it one of my favorites, but that's just because there's so many good picks. But the art style is really good. I highly recommend it. Shikimori is very cute. Shikimori is very cute. Konosuba? I don't know. Konosuba is one of my favorites, but we're talking conventional kind of romance anime. Yeah. I'm trying to think. What can I say? What am I allowed to say? I really like Bloom Into You, but I don't know how many of you guys have seen that. That's my sleeper hit that's really popular amongst a very specific niche audience. Wink, wink. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. Nudge, wink, wink, nudge, wink, nudge, wink, wink, nudge, wink, wink, nudge, wink, 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 nudge, wink, wink, nudge, 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 wink, wink. Okay. Yaoi? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever watched a yaoi before. Okay, I've watched Yuri on Ice, but it wasn't for me. I thought it was alright. Yaoi's okay. I just personally haven't really engaged with it. I support, if you like yaoi, you go. You go. You go watch all the yaoi. Yeah. Yeah. I need a character to self-insert. It definitely helps. It definitely helps. I feel kind of awkward observing. Next question. What is your reason for becoming a GFE ASM artist? It's because I used to listen to it myself, and I thought, this is really comforting. I started listening during the pandemic when I was kind of really sad and very isolated, and I figured it would be nice to make it. I was dared to. I was dared to by my friend. Because I had a friend from my fanfic writing circle, and we bonded over ASMR roleplays and stuff, and we were really nerdy about it, and then she was basically just like, you should do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I fell ass backwards into it, pretty much. Like, I didn't have any intentions. I didn't even know that people had this as like a job. And then I figured that out like several months into it, and then I was like, huh. Well, I am a college student. It'd be nice to be able to do this and not have to keep working my job at the time. So I kind of quit my part-time job to do Alekirser more, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions of my life. And I'm still friends with that friend. She's really cool. We're still buddies. Yeah. Woohoo! We need to celebrate that friend. I know. Need to make her a cake. I'm gonna make her a cake. Think about how different your life would have been if you never met that friend. That's very true. That's very true. Does she get a split? I doubt she'd accept it even if I asked. It's a great question though. Does she know that you do this? Yeah. I'm very open about it with my closest circle of friends. Because for me, I don't really want somebody to be my friend if I can't be open and honest about this, like what I do every day, nearly 24/7. So I told him about it, and honestly, I was a weirdo. I know, like, that's, it's kind of cringe to call yourself a weirdo, but I was really fucking weird when I was in, like, high school. I used to write the weirdest, most deranged fanfiction, and I would literally shove it in their faces and be like, better read this for me. Check this for flow. So they're used to this kind of tomfoolery for me. They're very used to me being a big, big degenerate. So they're not surprised at all that this is what I do. They're very, yeah. I'm a big believer in found family anyway. I think it's very important to curate the people that you keep the closest, I would say. Yeah, they're basically like my sisters. How can I get my cat to stop screaming at me for an hour before her dinner time? Great question. You don't. You don't. You just don't. I'm sorry. You just don't. Next question. Which Filipino curse words do you find the funniest? Why did you write it out? I gotta say it out loud, like in the phonetic way that you spelled it out. You spelled it as putang in a mo, which is a very very funny way to say putang in a mo. Why did you spell it out like that? Yeah. Tangina mo is very, very funny. It's just really funny. I think the Filipino language is very beautiful and filled with passion. And I don't think you've ever experienced true emotion until you've had a Filipina yell at you at the top of her lungs, cursing you out. Terrible for dirty talk? My mind has been changed on that. I think this is what it is. I used to think it was kind of cringe, but that's mainly because I grew up in a kind of sort of very like, you should never talk about sex. You should never you shouldn't talk about that. Sex is for marriage and all that. So I kind of associated it with like Filipino culture for a long time. And so because of that, I would find like dirty talk kind of like foreign to me and kind of strange to listen to because I just never got to like actually hear it. And then I saw a bunch of Filipino VTubers. They were using their voices to like speak it, and I was like, damn, that's actually pretty good. But I don't know. I think their voices carried. I think their voices really carried. I wouldn't know their names, but like sometimes I'll get PH VTubers on my feed, and they'll be saying really funny phrases in Tagalog, but in like a sexy voice, and they just make it work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like the really thick Filipino accents. Like they speak in like Tagalog. They don't really say English words. My Tagalog is also not very like good. So for me personally, I don't know if I'd be able to make an audio like that or to say stuff like that, really. I've gotten a few like Filipino voiceover roles before, and they usually hire me as like the girl from abroad or like your cousin that was raised in the States. But I understand it perfectly fine. It's just like, it's one of those things where like, it's really interesting to like, it's kind of like how I am with Spanish, is like, I understand it perfectly, but I can't really speak it without getting really nervous and second guessing myself because it feels so, like, I'm just not used to it. I'm very used to just like listening in Tagalog or Spanish and then responding in English, if that makes sense. Spain Spanish? Yeah. Like Barcelona Spanish, not like cool Latin American Spanish. Thanks for the bits, Rosa. Thank you. Thank you. Next question. I have 2 questions, but you can answer one or both if you want. Question 1. When you make a romance or girlfriend audio, do you kiss your microphone or do you just make the sound? Okay. I highly encourage you, if you don't want your immersion broken, take your headphones off or like plug your ears for the next minute, okay? So, I usually... Thanks for the 6 months in advance, Cortex. I don't kiss my microphone unless I'm using a 3DO. I don't just make the sound. I kiss my hand. I've learned how to particularly position it because for me, I like it when it sounds natural and not like plasticky. And I feel like against like flesh, it makes the best sound. And I know that most people do that, but I feel kind of silly explaining it to people that don't do VA stuff. Because it's like, I don't want to give them like a specific visual, but I usually use my hand. Yeah. How do you feel when you make your videos and share them with the world? I think, this one's pretty good. And then I release it. I don't really think when I do things. That's probably one of my issues. I just don't really think. I kind of just do it. That's how I tweet sometimes too. is like all my tweets are just my intrusive thoughts. And then I kind of just tweet them. And I don't think. I don't really think. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Do you feel like it's more difficult to get safer work roles under your NSFW persona? And would you recommend separating your NSFW and safe work personas for voice acting? So great question. I know a lot of people wonder this. I don't normally do many safer work roles under my NSFW persona, but I'm gonna be honest to you. The barrier isn't as high as you would imagine. Obviously, if you're gonna be recording for kids' roles, having that association is a big no-no. But otherwise, if you're voicing for, like, studios don't really care. They care about the quality of your acting. And as long as you have your accounts, like, under lock and key and you're very responsible about it, it's absolutely possible to book safer work roles using your NSFW persona. That's been my personal experience, but my experience is also very unique because most VAs keep them separate. But I'll tell you this right now, most studios that I've found personally worth working with do not give a fuck that I make NSFW audios. The reason I keep them together is because I'm lazy. But I also do IRL VA, so I kind of do keep them separate. It's just sometimes if I'm doing a safer work role under Alekirser, most people don't really think twice. Because some people don't even know that I do NSFW. So it doesn't really, like, it's kind of different, you know? It's kind of different. But in terms of your question, do I recommend separating your NSFW and safe work persona? A lot of people think it's a better... the trade-off there is that you have to manage 2 accounts, but you also get the benefit of, like, plausible deniability in case you do run into people that might have an issue with it. So it's about your risk tolerance and whether you're willing to put in the extra work to separate it, but that's up to you at the end of the day. I think the reason I keep it all under the same umbrella is because I want to prove that it's possible and that NSFW VAs should be taken just as seriously as safe work VAs. The amount of tea that I could spill about safe work VAs that have NSFW side hustles. I'm telling you right now, I was in a studio once with my girls, my IRL VA girls. And we all were like having lunch. And they all admitted that they do NSFW on the side. And I was like, not surprising. Not surprising. It's very common. It's very, very, very common. Who is your personal favorite VTuber? Really emotional music for this. I don't have one that I can pick as like my sole favorite, but I have a very special place in my heart for Nyanners, Senzoa, Gura, and Mume. I have a very, very special place in my heart for them because without them I wouldn't have figured out about being an anime girl online and voicing funny stuff. They kind of opened those doors for me. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yep. Next question. Any cute hijinks or stories from Kat that you want to share lately? Yes, I do. That little fucker has been running all over my freaking face at 4 a.m. sharp every single day. I feel really bad locking her out of the bedroom because she is such a whiny baby. She'll scratch up the door trying to get in, and then she'll meow really pathetically outside the door like for an hour. And so I give in and I'm just like, okay, I'll open it. And then she rewards me by running all over my face for an hour straight. She's been terrible for my sleep schedule. She's such a little brat. And then she naps all day. Like, oh my god, get a job. Pay some rent. I love her, and I would fight an entire nation for that little creature. Next question. I've been baking something every weekend. What are your favorite pastries or cakes? Ones you suggest I try making. You should make sweet rolls from Skyrim. You should also make banana bread. I love banana bread. You should make banana bread right now. Sweet rolls or banana bread? God, I love banana bread. I've been on TikTok. What a terrible way to start a sentence. I've been on TikTok, and there's this one creator that I follow, and his whole bit is just being like, my girlfriend baked me banana bread, and I helped. It's so cute. I love them. I love them. I fucking love banana bread. Next question. What's the oldest thing in your freezer and how long has it been there? Mine is a bag of bean sprouts that's been there for 2 years. Okay, I don't have anything surpassing 2 years because I'm not that crazy. I would say like I've had something that's been in there for like 6 months. It's frozen peas. Bean sprouts though? That's nasty. I'm so sorry. But like, bean sprouts go bad so quick. And I know that they're in your freezer, but you gotta get rid of those, dude. Those shits rot and they get smelly. They get smelly. I'll get bean sprouts to put in like my hot pot or like my pho. Bean sprouts are really yummy. Or I'll make little dinner rolls with them. I love bean sprouts. Next one. Have you ever been in the same room as Ryan Gosling? No. But I've been in the same restaurant as Ryan Reynolds. I have. It was during the premiere of like, one of the Deadpool movies. Trying to make this as vague as possible. He was around Canada. And we happened to be in the same restaurant. The same day that I watched the movie. Doesn't mean I know Ryan Reynolds personally. But I'm just saying we were at the same restaurant. We were at the same restaurant. He didn't know who he was in the presence of. That's so true. God, he should be grateful that I even dared grace him with my presence. Allie, can you still breathe fire and use fire magic? Yes. Would you rather be concubine to Chinese lesbian pirate queen Zheng Yisao in the 1800s or... I would rather not be a concubine, thank you very much. I'm not that down bad, but I support you. Smiles. I support you. What triggers knock you out the most when listening to ASMR? In the same vein, what scenarios or speaker dynamics do you enjoy the most in role plays? Consuming, not making. Triggers? Honestly, really slow, kind of resonant voices. And like breathing and like the rustling of sheets. Like nothing conditions me to knock out more than like you're in bed and like, you know what I mean? I like it. Rain sounds, I do like rain sounds. Like my tastes are very basic, but it just knocks me out real quick. TV in the other room is one of my favorites. I am a big fan of old-timey TV in the other room. I like it. Scenarios that I enjoy. Enemies to lovers. Thanks for the 43 months. Long, slow triggers for Wombat Wobbles. I am a big sucker for enemies to lovers. I know that seems kind of incompatible with what I just said, but low-key, like, I really love, like, kind of forced proximity, have to share one room, that sort of thing. I'm also a big sucker for childhood friends to lovers, but I'm very, very particular about it. They need to be able to convince me that we were childhood friends, that this is like my, you know, all-time bestie. You know? And that's hard. That's really hard. In my personal, like, opinion, I think that friends to lovers is probably one of the harder tropes to pull off. And that's because somebody that can convincingly be your friend, and I don't think I've gone there yet. Being able to portray someone that can, like, feel convincingly like they're your friend, it's difficult, especially if it's a best friend. That's hard, because it's like, you have to be endearing enough and act believable enough that somebody can imagine, like, this is, like, my best friend. And that's hard. That shit's really hard. I think friends to lovers is very tricky for that reason. And that's why I like making it, but listening to it can be a bit tricky because I'm very picky about it. Yup. Next one. Long-time listener, first-time asker. As a VTuber with a fan base, do you have any messages or commandments to give to your audience? Either something selfish or for the betterment of mankind? You're really testing my moral character here. I have to choose between being selfish and bettering the world. I have a message for you guys. Wash your hands after you pee. Please. Thank you. Don't forget to wash your hands after you pee. There we go. What's the most backhanded compliment you've ever received? That's a good question. I'm a bit of a petty person. I need to go through, like, the Rolodex of backhanded compliments I've received over the years. Let me think. I'm trying to think. This is hard. Oh, I remember. You sound a lot like insert VA here. It's too bad that she sucks. Oh, man. That one isn't even a backhanded compliment. It's just an insult. Let me think. Let me think. I mean, I'm thinking of a lot that are just, like, kind of generic, because best backhanded compliment, that deserves, like, that's like a whole stream idea, is we find the best backhanded compliment. That deserves, like, searching. Because I get very generic ones, like, yeah, like, your fake voice is so good, or like, you're so good at pretending to be blah blah blah, like, you know, like the boring basic stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. But there are no, like, really good ones that come to mind. You work so hard for a streamer. Yeah, that's a big one. Is like, oh, you're really busy for an unemployed person. I'm not unemployed. I have a job. I have 2 jobs. Asshole. Next one. Allie, what is your dream cart? Oh, you already said it. Minecart. if you're okay with answering. What role does everyone play in the extremely profitable and doted upon business that is Alekirser? You mentioned that you are paying people living wages and that you have editors and a manager, but you don't really post on the Alekirser VT channel, except for the occasional shorts which aren't super edited, so I was just wondering. Okay. I mean, I do post on the VT channel, but it is shorts, yeah, yeah, I don't want to expose them out of their privacy, but I can say that I do have 2 managers, one for Safe for Work and one for NSFW. I do have an artist, and I do have several editors and writers that I hire. So it's a bit of an operation. Yeah, Mellow 1 is my Safe Work manager, and then Mellow 2 is my editor, and there may be a Mellow 3, who knows? Who knows? Yeah. But that's as far as I can go. Can you tell my friend Jack happy birthday on the 22nd of May? You can clip this. Happy birthday, Jack! On the 22nd of May, 2026. Happy birthday from Alekirser! Yay! Happy birthday! Okay, clip that for Jack, everybody. Happy birthday, Jack! Look! You have so many friends in the chat. Amazing! Clappers! Yay! Happy birthday! Next one. Show your % female viewer count on stream. Surely it hasn't decreased again. Well, I gotta be careful what I show on stream, but I will say on I don't know about my Twitch stream. I don't know if they show that stat anymore, but I know that on YouTube, I'm at a comfortable 4% female viewership, which is up from the last time I checked, where it was like 2%. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. 4%, baby. Let's go. I hope that suffices. Do you plan on making more ASMR series on your YouTube channel? Yes, but I'm also planning on having them be kind of like, there's some on my YouTube, some on my Patreon. Just to give a little something for the people that support on the Patreon. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. I'm just so ADHD and I have a lot of different ideas, so if I seem kind of bouncy, it's because I just have too many ideas in my brain. But I do have a bunch of ongoing series. Like on my Patreon, I have like a pop star girlfriend one that I really like, but it's kind of spicy, so I can't really talk about it. Next one. Would you spend the night in an incredibly spooky, old, supposedly haunted mansion for $1 million? Fuck. Why are you putting me in a Mr. Beast video? For $1 million? I would hate every second of it, but it's $1 million. It's $1 million. Alone? Can I bring friends? You didn't specify. If I can bring friends, then absolutely. If I'm alone, it's a slightly more tentative absolutely. Alone? Yes, but don't put me in a haunted mansion. But I do. Like $1 million would be really nice. That would be very, very nice. I would make the ultimate VTuber model with that. I would develop an Alekirser that can pop out of your screen and boop your nose and shrink back into the screen. As a dragon, have you played flight simulator or aircraft games? I don't play a ton of simulators where I operate vehicles because I'm very bad at operating any kind of mode of transportation, is what I've learned. It's not my preferred game, just because I'm really bad at it. But I'm willing to give Ace Combat a try. if people are nice about it. Because it does seem nice. Hmm? I know you've created Sapphic content before, but do you consume it as well? Who is your favorite creator? Okay. I don't know what the word. What a loaded question. I don't know what the word Sapphic means. That's a joke. I know what it means. It's just... If I mention a favorite creator, I plead the fifth? I'm not American, but I plead the fifth. Do I consume it? Maybe. I don't know. My favorite Sapphic creator. Can I just like use a cop-out answer? If I can just say L, but she's like, that's like, you know, that's a bit of a cop-out. Next question. Next question! I will say this, I was up until like 5 a.m. today reading fanfiction. I've gone so into Stardew Valley. I started reading Stardew Valley fanfiction on AO3. It's gotten so bad. Just today? No, like the past several days. I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's a very sparse community. The quality of the writing is very dubious. But I don't know. Oh, you can guess. Which ship? That stays between me and God. That stays between me and God. Who's your favorite music artists? Okay. Top 5? Don't do that to me. I really like Hers. Hers is my favorite band of all time. H-E-R apostrophe Hers. H-E-R apostrophe S. Let me think. It's hard. Don't make me answer this question. Don't make me answer this question. I really like Red Velvet, like the K-pop group Red Velvet. They were my very, very specific hyperfixation for like 9,000 years. I wouldn't consider Cat's Eye my favorite music group. I'd consider them one of my favorite influencer groups, but that's a controversial opinion to have because then people are gonna be like, oh, you're actually a Cat's Eye hater. It's like, no! They're kind of like Blackpink in the sense of like, I see them more as influencers than like as a group, like as a musical group. And that's just speaking facts, okay? If you have more brand deals than you have songs, then that's just what you are, is you're an influencer, and that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't mean I hate them. It just means I think they're being miscategorized and underutilized by their companies. I do like Sabrina Carpenter. I'd say Sabrina Carpenter is probably my favorite pop girly at the moment. But I can't make a top 5 just because I have such different tastes in music. And they're all over the place. I really like Loathe. Like the alt-rock band Loathe. But like I don't... Like again, like my top 5 would just not make sense to like a lot of people. Because it's just from everywhere. Everywhere. That's like 4 mentioned. Well, they're not like my favorites. Like I mentioned Cat's Eye, but they're not my favorites, you know. What is some good advice for someone starting VTubing with 10 years of prior content creation? I have the money to commission all big names, but I'm still lost. Well, don't commission big names just because they have big names. I'm gonna tell you right now, sometimes your commission will be handled a lot more professionally and a lot better by the smaller artist. So, you should focus on, like, why are you becoming a VTuber? Is it just for fun? If so, then don't think about it too much and just have fun with it. Do whatever your heart's, you know, telling you to do. But if you have a goal, like, I feel like you'd be able to answer your questions a little bit better than me. Just because I use VTubing for a very specific purpose, and it just varies so much between different people. VTubing is just the use of an avatar. It's a format. But the content that you actually create varies so much that it's kind of like saying, how do I become a YouTuber? I don't know. Because I don't know what niche you're in. I can't give advice on finance bros, but I can give advice for ASMR girlfriends and voice actors and meme posters. You know what I mean? So, I wish you luck, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if there's much I can do to help you without knowing a little bit more. I highly recommend, though, don't just gun for the big names just because you have the money. Like, you absolutely can at the end of the day, but, like, just think about it a little bit more, what you're trying to do. Again, though, if you're like a billionaire, then spend whatever money you want, I guess. Well, whatever. Hi, Allie. My question is, besides 5 Hearts Under One Roof, is there any other dating sim that you would recommend? Yes! Knowledge or No Lady. Knowledge or No Lady. That's the best Chinese FMB dating sim I've played so far. It's so, mwah, so good. So good. Next one. What made you get into voice acting and everything else that you do? Well, we can break it down. So there's voice acting and then there's everything else I do. For voice acting, I've just been into it since I was a wee lass. I used to do a lot of impressions when I was a little lass, and I was a big fan of anime, so I've always wanted to be like an anime VA, that sort of thing, and that's kind of how it started. For everything else, I've always been a huge degenerate, and so combine the two and that's how you get me, I guess. Yeah, I used to copy voice lines all the time. I would look at like my favorite characters and I would kind of just impersonate them. It was a very big thing for a while, and then I kind of just branched off into whatever the fuck my voice is right now. Yep. We as a community, meaning me and you, humbly ask you to provide us with older women ASMR. Not mommy ASMR, just a dominant, deeper voice. Older women taking control. Why did you use this font? This fuck-ass font! Okay, listen, twin. You didn't tell me how much older. For all you know, I can make grandmother ASMR. Who is we? Who is we? Okay, so, I mean, I already released one recently. So I've shown that I'm willing to do it. I just like to make sure that, like... I just like to make sure it sounds good. Like, I'm willing to do it, but... Like, we'll see. I'll think about it. Mama Coco ASMR? I'm just forgetful for 20 minutes of the audio, and the last 4 minutes are just me finally getting my memories back and being like, oh, wait, I remember you. You're my grandson that plays the guitar. That's so sad. Thanks for the 26 months, Aesthetic Rex. Thank you. Well, I'm willing to do it, but like, We is crazy. There is a red and blue button. Pressing the blue button saves everyone if more than 50% of people choose it, while pressing the red button ensures your own survival regardless of the outcome, but causes everyone who chose blue to die if blue doesn't reach the 50% threshold. Well, there's no question, so I don't have to answer it. There's no question mark. You just stated. That's a statement. I know that's a very, very English teacher cop-out answer, but what's your question? That's a good thing that there are buttons. You didn't say I had to press them. Yay! How did I get into voice acting? Are there any roles? I've already answered the first question, but I can answer the second one. Are there any roles I'm looking forward to this year? NDA! 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 You're graduating! Congratulations! Congratulations! Mac and cheese or chicken tendies? It depends on the quality of either. If we're talking like gourmet mac and cheese, I'm picking the mac and cheese. But if we're talking like... honestly, it really depends. I like both. Don't make me choose. I like both. At this current moment, probably chicken tendies, but that's just because I crave meat. My body craves meat. So I would say, for now, chicken tendies, but I really enjoy mac and cheese too. So it really depends on my mood. Tenders because protein? True, but if we're using like that low-fat mozzarella for the mac and cheese, that's still some protein. That's still some protein. Both are not terrible protein options. Yeah. With bacon bits? Okay, that kind of changes things. Again, it depends on my mood. What's your favorite thing about voice acting? Looking like an absolute fucking lunatic in my booth while trying to get certain voices and emotions out. I love being a crazy person for my job. If you saw the kinds of shit that I would do to get certain sounds out, that sounds really weird, but like, I mean this in like the most wholesome and literal of senses. Like, if I'm running, I'm just running in place. If I'm yelling for someone, I'm raising my hand. If I'm trying to fly, I'm propelling myself by the feet. Stuff like that, you know? I like that part of it because it makes me feel alive. Are you actually a guy? I am a girl. Is the Red Robin towering sliders not the stupidest appetizer in the world? I don't know what your question is. I'm guessing it's this. I've never been to Red Robin. What is the best color? A really dark red. A really dark, rustic, royal red. I'm definitely not biased or anything. Okay. I currently have a part-time job, and they're actively downsizing staff by force. I'm next on the chopping block since similar patterns are happening to me. I want to get back into being an artist, but a new, higher-paying full-time job is being offered. And if I pass the interview, I won't have time to follow art again. Okay, I'm gonna pause you right there. In this economy, it's important to ensure that you're stable and able to like provide for yourself. But I would kind of push back on the idea that you won't have time to follow art again, because that's a very decisive statement. you shouldn't immediately cut that path out. And I'm personally of the opinion that if you really, really, really wanted to do it, you'd find a way to make time regardless. And I would also think a bit more about this job. If it would take up so much of your time that you don't have time to pursue art, like, what is this job? Like, are you working 14-hour days? Like, I don't know. A lot of people pursue art and eventually transition into being art entrepreneurs, even working full-time jobs, sometimes multiple. So I would say don't close that door yet, but it is important to ensure your financial stability, so I understand why this is a dilemma. We just need a little bit more specifics. But from what I'm hearing so far, I don't think you should necessarily have to close the door. It doesn't sound like you have to make a choice between the two. I think you can have both. Friends no longer want to hang out, actively dono-walling as I see them play Friend Slops games on Steam. Even the ones that I asked to play. Is it time to move on? Buddy, I think you answered your own question. I think you already know the answer to the question. I don't think you should waste your brain space, your precious time on Earth, worrying about the opinions of people that aren't giving you the time of day. You should save yourself while you can. Can I do a backflip? I can do one on a trampoline. Like at the trampoline park. I can do one on a trampoline, but like I'm not Unk or anything, but I am yeah. Video evidence? I was thinking about that because I was like trying to test out like stuff with 3D once. I remember like a few years ago. I tried doing flips and tricks and I accidentally flashed Allie's whole freaking ass. It's kind of difficult to move in certain ways when you're an anime girl. There are so many precarious pieces of outfit that you have to be really, really mindful of. I showed the peaches. I delivered the goods. I opened Pandora's box. Thank you for the sub, Narizi. Thank you. The whole Alusi was on full display. What is your question? Which Pokemon starter will you take on your journey? Snivy. Snivy is the best Pokemon starter ever. What's your bench press? 1 billion tons. Allison, can you purchase me a Dakimakura? Please, I need this. I encourage that you buy one, but I'm not gonna buy you one. I'm not Amazon. I'm not Amazon. If you really, I'm happy to like you can go into the dungeon vault and like nab a gold coin for the Daki. For the body pillow. But I'm not buying it for you. Aren't you a billionaire? I'm not a billionaire. I'm a more billionaire. Topixlen? No. What do you of New York? I like New York. It's a nice state. I like the public transport. I like the culture of just being in the city and zooming and bustling. I'm a big fan of Broadway. But a lot of these things that I'm talking about are more from the tourist kind of perspective. I don't know if I'd actually want to live in New York, you know what I mean? And that's specifically New York City. In terms of like New York proper, like the state's pretty nice. There's a lot to do. Yeah. Would you have made audios if the pandemic never happened? I'm gonna be honest. The pandemic freed me a lot of free time. It gave me a lot of free time. So if the pandemic never happened, I fear I probably wouldn't have found roleplays, and I likely wouldn't have gone down the route that I did. Yeah. So that's, to be honest, probably not. But, you know, you can't really change the past, and I'm happy to be where I currently am. Where's the FNAF 3 stream? Never! Can you please consider reacting to Gordon Ramsay rage moments? They always have me rolling, specifically of him in Hell's Kitchen. Sure, I mean, I really want to watch Kitchen Nightmares with you guys. I'm a big fan of his work. I think he's a very amusing person. I'd be down. Please no React slop. I actively try to avoid React content unless I have a lot of opinions and I feel like I can speak on the matter. So we'll see. We'll see. Next Monopoly stream? Never! Oh my god! What made you start doing NSFW content, and what advice would you give to anyone wanting to make NSFW content? Run! Hey, Allie, I'm not sure if you already did it, but can you consider doing a hand cam cooking stream? I've never done a hand cam cooking stream, but I've done hand cam, like, building gingerbread houses and stuff. I've been planning on it for a long time. I've just been trying to, like, find a good setup for it. Like a hot plate. Maybe an open window for the smoke. Just a bunch of things to consider. Would I be wearing a mask? Like, we've got a bunch of things to consider. Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad? I'm team Better Call Saul. I think both are great, but Better Call Saul is one of the few exceptions as like a sequel, or like, not quite sequel, quite like more like a spin-off series that ended up being better than the original. At least in my opinion. I know it's a prequel, but when I say sequel, I mean like chronologically. Like in terms of like the real world release. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the few exceptions to the rule that like spin-offs tend to be kind of, you know. What is my dream car? My dream car is a dragon. Like Parthenax. That's still a prequel? Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, like, you know what I made! You know what I made! You know what I made! Let's flip the script. What question would you like the Wankies to answer about ourselves? You know, a lot of people are always like, am I a good boy? Am I a good boy? Am I a good girl? Flip the script. Am I a good man? Am I a good woman? Then it becomes philosophical. Think about that. Damn. Am I a good person worthy of good life? I think everybody deserves to be happy. But it's more what you do with your good life. It's not really a matter of whether you deserve it. Do you have any fetishes you're ashamed of? Hand holding. I don't know. Nothing I can say. I don't know how much it costs to get your VTuber model rigged, but are you planning on getting more detailed animations for her? Well, Live 2D is very advanced, and I'd like to think that, you know, I'm very happy with my model. Puppetworks did an amazing job, and I think it's really good. It'd be always nice to, like, get more features, but in terms of the quality of the rigging, I think Puppetworks did a really fucking good job, and I'm very, very happy with it. Are we gonna find your wife in Silent Hill too? I'm working on it! I'm sorry! How do you keep yourself motivated doing a thing when you see someone else doing it but better? To give more context, part of me is getting motivated to go to the gym. Part of me getting motivated to go to the gym is watching people go to the gym and trying to do a one-sided, I can probably lift that weight mindset. It's led me to some success, but now I feel like my body's hitting a limit. I've taken a week break to try and heal, but I'm afraid I lost mass. Also, this week made me assess why I even go to the gym. You need to take that mindset and toss it out the fucking window, dude. Because if your comparison and if your motivation comes from is based on the performance of other people, you will never have a healthy relationship with fitness. It just becomes so much more sustainable and enjoyable when the only person, like, it's very cliche, but you really should be your only benchmark. Because, like, I can understand that ego can be a really good motivator. I personally think ego is a big motivator behind a lot of the things I do, and that's particularly why I discourage you from doing the same, because it makes me sad. Like, I've gone into a lot of really bad, like, I've never broken a bone, but I've gotten some pretty bad sprains from running and thinking, oh, insert, like, fellow runner here can run this in this time. I bet I could run it way faster. I bet I can run a much better time. And I've gotten really bad injuries because of that. A lot of the time, you kind of just end up spelling your own downfall if you make other people your barometer for success. Because your body is different. Everybody's body is different. And all that sappy stuff. Just, you know, find a different kind of motivation. Not enough people use health as a motivation, god damn it. I mean, I personally don't. I like working out because I want to look good. But, you know, like, be a better person than me. Be a better person than me. What advice would you give to an aspiring voice actor? Just fucking do it. It doesn't matter if you're using your phone or your, you know, Apple earbuds. Just try. Record something. Don't be afraid to look really, really fucking stupid. I don't know. What made you fall in love with voice acting? I have a very overactive imagination, and I like acting, but I like being able to do it within the comfort of a booth. Truth be told. I've always kind of had a more expressive voice than I've had, like my face. I think I'm pretty expressive in real life, but like my voice has always been the most expressive part of me, I would say. It's just always been what I consider my strongest suit acting-wise. So that's kind of why I like it. What is your opinion on Casanete though? Beautiful, perfect, deserves better. Your preferred setup for recording? I record in a Studio Bricks booth. And that's my preferred setup, I guess. I like recording in a booth with a nice microphone and ventilation. Yeah. What would be your dream place to visit? I've really wanted to visit Morocco for a number of years. I hear they have very good food. I have Moroccan friends. Oh boy, okay. Would you rather eat a pumpkin a third of your body weight in 1 week, seeds and stem included, and if you fail, the remains are sealed in resin and chained to you forever, or everything you eat has to be a third honey and Tabasco sauce by mass? This is an awful question. Okay, listen. Forced to eat a pumpkin a third of my body weight in 1 week, seeds and stem included. You didn't say what I would have to do. I could turn it into a soup. I also don't weigh much. A pumpkin a third of my body weight would be like 33, 34 pounds. That's still a shit ton of soup. But like, you know, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. A huge ass pie. Yeah, I'd say pumpkin. I don't really like the second option. What's your favorite game of all time? Skyrim. Would you rather be a proctologist and whenever a patient comes in more than once, you say, this wasn't as loose the last time? Or be a gynecologist and whenever a patient comes in more than once, you say, this wasn't as loose the last time? That's awful! A gynecologist, I guess. That's awful! Would you rather be a strawberry with human thoughts or a human with strawberry thoughts? A strawberry with human thoughts or a human with strawberry thoughts? Well, I'm already a human with strawberry thoughts. So, I'd say I'd rather be the human with strawberry thoughts. I don't want to be a strawberry. I get eaten. My body would eventually return to the earth faster than a human would. What does a strawberry even think about? Would I have a mouth? Would I be able to speak? Or would I just be thinking? Human thoughts as a strawberry. It's a terrifying existence. I'd rather be a human with strawberry thoughts. Did it jiggle when you fell from heaven? Do it jiggle when you walk? It don't jiggle, it don't bounce, it don't shake, it don't do the oinky boinky on the yoinky spoinky during the hoonga hoonga boop boop awooga wooga brrr. But it's there, it exists, and it matters. It don't jiggle. I'm sorry. Did you enjoy the Would You Rathers? You have traumatized me for life. Human with strawberry thoughts. Small booty, non-Latina. That's me. How do dragon girls work? Are they half human, half dragon? If a dragon girl has a baby with a human, is it 1/4 dragon? Yes. Yes to both of those things. Yeah. 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 If a human has a baby with a dragon girl, that baby is gonna be 1/4 dragon. When I think of a dragon girl, I think half dragon, half human. Yeah. What the dog doing? It be doing. Since you're an ASMR listener as well as a creator, do you listen to the male equivalent of the stuff you do? Like role plays? What are things you do or don't like about that side? Feel free to rant about annoying stuff boyfriend ASMR artists do that you don't like. I do not really listen to boyfriend ASMR. I don't really listen to it. Like, I'll listen to both male and female voices, but I don't listen to, like, boyfriend ASMR, if that makes sense. Like, one of my favorite ASMR artists speaks in a very soothing voice while he plays Stardew Valley, but that's because I'm a crazy person and I love Stardew Valley so much I want to fall asleep to it and wake up to it and play it during the day. But, like, I like both voices. I just don't really listen to boyfriend ASMR very much. And I can rant about some annoying stuff that some boyfriend ASMR artists do. I've just heard too many cases of them kind of taking advantage of their communities. Especially if they have like a Discord server. And so I don't like to listen because I'm scared that they might turn out to be weird, if that makes sense. Obviously not all of them. There have just been so many horror stories, and I personally don't really listen to boyfriend ASMR very much. Yeah, I've just heard too many bad stuff. Too much bad stuff. Permission to slime them out? Granted. Granted. Next one. Do you think cinnamon rolls need icing or are they fine without it? Honestly, they do. They do. They need the icing. They need it. What's the point without the icing? I mean, by definition, a cinnamon roll is a roll with cinnamon. Sure. But would you eat it if it was just like plain old cinnamon, no sugar? Yeah, I didn't think so. Without the icing, it is too dry. The icing adds a little bit of an oomph to it. It makes it go down smoother. One thing I don't like is eating bread that's really dry and I swallow it and it scrapes against like the sides of my throat. It's a very unpleasant feeling. It needs to have a little bit of something. A little bit of milk, a little bit of Favorite music genre? Right now, shoegaze. I love shoegaze. How do you deal with people who seem to dislike you for no reason? Oh, that's tough. To give a personal example, it feels like there's a clique at work that seems to ice me out of everything, and one specific person who tries to prod me by making vague comments and insults, trying to get a rise out of me. I've been ignoring it for a few marks, but it's been very demoralizing at work. That's really tough. Especially because it's work. Because the fact that it's at work kind of voids a lot of my personal advice. I would say that even if it's true that they don't like you, oftentimes your feelings are amplified by how often you think about it. And if they're trying to ice you out by making vague comments and insults, it's very likely that they're just trying to get a reaction out of you. And if you don't give that to them, then they kind of just are being assholes. And anybody looking at it would be able to see that they're being assholes. You know, don't give them what they want. And also just, you know, it's way easier said than done. But it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. They're being so mean. Right, Seladon? Is that the real Seladon? Of course it's the real Seladon. I know my friend. Follow her right now. Right now. Right now. Follow her right now, or I'm putting a vat of dry skin eating fish from Thailand under your feet. You'll wake up and they'll be all tickly. But your feet will also be really exfoliated, so it's actually not that bad. But still, it's like a really weird feeling. So follow her now if you don't want fish tickling your feet. Yeah. Well, welcome. And belated happy birthday. I hope you had a good birthday. And if not, then we'll change it. We'll have a second birthday for you. Belated happy birthday! Yay! Yippee! You're shot. Sorry. I'm being an asshole. Ignore her. She's not here. I know you're self-conscious about trigger ASMR, but you're really good. Shucks. Who wrote this? This is Ali. Oh. Well, I would never write that to myself. Any plans to do more in the future? Totally anonymous person. Yeah, no, I do have plans. I do have plans to do more. Favorite music genre? It's shoegaze. Who's winning the Champions League? The Champions League of what? Of what? I feel like there are lots of Champions Leagues. Of ASMR? Of League of Legends? I don't know. Of VTubing? You gotta specify, bro. When is the Alekirser dating sim where you voice every character? We know you've got the range for it. Oh, shucks. Thank you, paid chatter. You're so nice to me. I'm just gonna blink, and we're gonna ignore that this person submitted it, so in the case that I make this in the future, it's completely unexpected. So we're just gonna blink. We're gonna forget the words Alekirser dating sim. And we're gonna move on. Dream job besides this. Shit. Like, honestly, probably a baker. This music is so sentimental for me. Probably a baker. Like, I'd like to own my own bakery. I like to be the baker. The baker. Yeah. I used to kind of help out with a bakery in a past life. I like making cakes and sweet treats. It'd be really nice. Thanks for the gift sub, Babamet. Thank you. I'm making cakes. Yeah. What is it like having thousands of people who think you're great? It's nice and all, but there's also tens of thousands of people who think I'm annoying, so be louder than them, please. I don't like it. I like it and I'm very appreciative of nice comments, but I also just never know how to take them. It's very... Like, I think a lot of content creators kind of deal with the same thing where we'll get, like, a ton of nice comments and then there'll be that one bad comment and that's all we fixate on. Being one guide is super real when you have low self-esteem. So, I don't know. I'm appreciative. Maybe not appreciative enough because I let bad comments get to me, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Return of Flaming Eyeball Girlfriend ASMR? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. What game would human person Alekirser from Earth want to experience for the first time again? Why did you phrase it like that? Human person Alekirser from Earth. I would like to experience Skyrim and Borderlands 2 specifically. And honestly, probably Pokemon. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky. Specifically. Yeah. What's your favorite currently airing anime? Freer. I'm sorry. My answer to these questions are very, very similar. Next one. Is there a place you're dying to visit? Dying? I don't think I'd be dying to go anywhere that isn't inside my house, but I really want to visit Morocco. I really want to go to Japan. Dude, I feel like it's a content creator fucking milestone to go to Japan and make content in Japan at least once. And I want to do that with my VTuber friends. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. As soon as they're willing, I'll do it. I'll do it. What kind of content? Maybe like vlogging. Vlogging. And also just excuses to shop, I would say. Yeah. What unexpected life lessons have you learned because of your unorthodox career? So many. You learn a lot about a person based on how they react to conflict. It's very easy to pretend to be nice, but when you're put in a situation where it's like your character is put on trial, you learn a lot about whether they're worth keeping around or not. What else? I'm trying to think. I need a nice life lesson that isn't like really skeptical. Fuck. It's really hard to say. Fuck. Don't click sketchy links. Don't download links even if they seem to be from your friends. I've fallen for it. I already did it for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. What else? You know how, like, I don't know, my parents would always tell me, like, you are the sum of the 5 closest people that you hang out with. I absolutely think that it's true. I think it's very true. It's very, very important to surround yourself with people that are actively bettering your life. Even just by being in it. Because it's so easy to be motivated into bad things when you're surrounded by voices and you don't have anyone else reassuring you. Like giving you like a second opinion. It really is true that you're the sum of like the 5 closest people that you're around. 5 is just an arbitrary number, you know what I mean. Yeah, don't become a fence zombie. What if I only talk to one person? Then that same difference, you know? Like, you gotta be very careful. Another life lesson. It's really easy to want a big friend group and to be friends with everybody. But it's really important to be very, very, very selective with friends. And people naturally get more selective as they get older. And sometimes it's just something that you have to experience. Quality over quantity actually means something in this community. Also, you can be amicable with someone, but that doesn't mean that you're friends. But that's just like a business thing, you know? Oh, also, all of mine are very skeptical, but I'm also the kind of person that's just very, like, I get very scared too. kind of open up and like meet new people. So if I'm like scaring you, don't let me scare you. This is just like my personality type. But yeah, no, those are some lessons that I've learned, I would say. If I could make a movie or a show, what would I make it about? Just stares at you. I mean, what would I make it about? Dawn Chronicle. Why would you want to subject Seladon to my presence for longer than necessary? That'd be torture for her. I'm trying to think. It's really hard to say. Okay, listen. This is a very, very self-centered thing to say, and I feel like everybody says it. But I do think that if I had a movie or show, I would want it to be like a biopic or like documentary. Because I feel like I've lived a very strange life. Like, that's a very, 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 very self-absorbed thing to say. But I don't know. I've lived a very interesting life. Valley the VA or Allie the character? Yes. Ryan Gosling would be playing me. For sure. If you could choose where to be isekai'd to after death, what fictional universe would you go to and why? That is such a... I hate that answer. I would make a biopic because my life is so interesting. Like, fuck off. Oh my god. That's such an annoying answer. Okay. I would make an animated TV series reminiscent of Adventure Time that introduces mature themes and like deep intellectual topics to like, you know, teach the current generation media literacy again. Like, I'm not gonna lie, media literacy is down amongst the youth. And they need something more substantial to chomp on. Like, we need to make something kind of like Star Wars The Clone Wars, but for the current generation. Or they can just watch Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's a great example of something that's age appropriate, but also gives you stuff to like nibble on and grow up with. There are lots of themes that are introduced in Star Wars The Clone Wars where fucking they like knot you when you revisit it as an adult. So yeah, I could only dream of making like a piece of media that is as impactful and iconic as that. And I feel like it'd be a much interesting and less self-centered answer than a fucking biopic about me. So that's my real answer. There you go. That's my real answer. I heard some third graders aren't able to read. Dude, sometimes, based on some of my comment sections, there are lots of 29-year-olds that aren't able to read, let me tell ya. Let me tell ya. Ooh. Let me tell ya. If you could choose where to be isekai'd to after death, which fictional universe would you go to and why? Pokemon? I want a little buddy. I want to live in a society where I can just travel around and camp everywhere. And eat yummy berries? Holy fuck. I don't know if I could handle Pokemon. I think I'd die immediately. When I think of Pokemon, I think of like the modern sanitized Pokemon. Not like the Legends A to Z Pokemon where Pokemon like try to kill you. I'm thinking like domesticated Pokemon. Yeah, the cozy Pokemon. What have you worked on that makes you the proudest? NDA. But real answer, probably NDA. It's coming up soon. Other than that, probably something else that's coming up really soon. You'll see. In like a week or 2 or 3. Or did I? Whoa, week or 2. I didn't say anything. What? No, I didn't say anything. Hi, Allie. Big fan of your content. I would like to ask you for some love advice if you don't mind.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, let's just dig right into this. All right.
So I have been dating my girlfriend for 2 years. We're going on a trip to the Netherlands, and I plan to propose to her. I want to make it romantic and memorable, but I'm scared of messing it up. Do you have any advice on how to make it a special moment? Well, I could give you advice, but I'm gonna be that boring person. You know her better than me! I've never met your girlfriend. But if you're going to the Netherlands, I mean, fuck. Just don't do it when you're doing like a canal boat tour. Don't do it. It's cliche. Wear some Dutch clogs to give yourself aura and confidence. Like, romantic and memorable. What are you doing in the Netherlands? You should try and tie it to an activity or like just something that you're planning on doing, but don't make it in a public place. Make sure you propose in a private place, because it shows that you're considerate of their feelings. Even if you know that she's gonna say yes, don't do it somewhere public. It's really awkward and it won't be memorable or special. It'll just be kind of overwhelming. So please, whatever you do, try and make it during an activity that you're doing, but make sure the activity isn't super public. If it's at a restaurant, make sure that you have like a private booth or something. Just make it feel like it's just the two of you. Because otherwise, even if she says yes, it just won't hit as hard. Yeah. Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell? I don't know. Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell? That's a great question. That's a great question. What are some underrated Batman villains that you would like to see in the live action? When you say live action, like what do you mean? Clayface was the first one that I thought about. Low-key, Clayface was the first one I thought about, and then I was like, wait, we're already, yeah. Like, fuck if I know. It's a great question. There's so many. I'm a big fan of, like, the animated series from, like, the 90s and stuff. The 90s, 2000s and shit. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I'd say Poison Ivy's like underrated in terms of like live action depictions though. That's a good point. We need a better Riddler movie. Did you not like? Okay, that's a. Now that's definitely a conversation. That's definitely a conversation. A Mr. Freeze movie would go crazy. You make a great point. I think Poison Ivy is a great choice just because, like, we're talking live action. In terms of media, she is pretty represented, though. Okay. You spoke on having a huge ego during the pool stream. Yeah, no, I said that if I had to make a piece of media, it'd be a biopic about me. I have a very big ego. You think that you can immediately perform feats of skill and strength when you watch other people do it. When was the last time you actually did something for the first time and found out you were actually amazing at it? Honestly, not many things. I'm not a very skilled person, but I'm the kind of person that gets good at things after I practice at them for a while, but I'm just very selective about what I, like, what I like to practice. I used to really suck at VA, and I'm like slightly better at it, but still not very good. And that's why I go to VA school. Let me think. Something that I was actually good at. That I tried for the first time. Singing? I was not good at singing when I started out. But that's also just me being really mean to like 3-year-old me. The gym. It's hard to say because those are skills. Like fitness is a skill that you develop, and I would say that I'm pretty average in terms of fitness. Hello, Frieten. Welcome in. Greetings from Canada to Germany. Dancing, speaking in my native tongue. This is a hard-ass question. I can't think of many things that I was automatically good at. I'm just not very naturally talented at a bunch of things. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. I'm gonna be honest. I have to work at things to get good at them. I'm really good at being a lesbian. I mean, that's a valid answer. Fair enough. I guess I'm pretty awful at being a lesbian because I'm attracted to men still, so I'm very good at being bisexual, I guess. Ew, you like gross. Ew, that's disgusting. Allie, you like men? That's disgusting. They're icky. I like both. But cooties, you will not believe what I do for a job. It would baffle you. This girl's so greedy. I am. I'm good at being greedy. That's something I did for the first time when I was like, maybe like a freaking, I don't know, like a blastocyst in the fucking womb. I was greedy for the first time. And I found out I was amazing at it. Next one. Will I ever play a Zelda game? Yes, but it has to be like one of the punchier ones. Because I have a very, very bad attention span. Do you have a favorite, least favorite wanky? What the fuck? What a loaded question. Do you have a favorite, least favorite, like, viewer? You know what? We'll let it go to the masses. Do any of you want to be my favorite, and do any of you want to be my least favorite? You can claim that. I don't think I have a favorite or least favorite. I try my best to treat you all equally. Good lord. You want to be least favorite so we can become enemies to lovers? Alright. Damn. Well, I don't have a least favorite or favorite. My favorite wanky has to be Cuddle Kitten. I don't even think she considers herself a wanky. Y'all keep asking me what ASMR creators I listen to. Do you listen to more men, women, or just noise? Is this the same person? Why are you trying to get me to self-report? I don't know. Put us on ball is crazy. What's your type? Okay, do you want me to put you on actual ball? No, this is a loaded ass question. It's awkward because if it gets clipped and then sent to them, it'll be like really awkward. And they'll just be like, oh, so you listen to my stuff? And it's like, no, it's not like that. Yeah.
I thought I got rid of this question.
I'm gonna Morse code it with my eyes, and then you can guess who I'm saying, okay? I'm gonna Morse code it with my eyes. Did you get that? Did you get that? Okay, yeah, I'll do it again. Actually, no, cop-out answer. Seladon VA. I love Seladon VA. She's my favorite ASM artist. Roleplay where you're at a carnival and you need the line to clear up, so she yells, I have a bomb. Classic. My goated ASMR streamer. What is your type of women or men or whatever? I don't really have like a type. I guess like nice to me. Is that not specific enough? Nice to me? I don't know. Likes me? If they don't like me, I don't know. I know I like enemies to lovers, but they have to actually like me underneath all the hatred. You know what I mean? Like, if they just straight up hate me, then I'm not into that. They have to, like, actually like me. You know? Nice to hang out with. I can talk to them for, like, 30 hours straight, and it still feels like it ain't enough. I like kind of like golden retriever types. I like when they're just like happy to be there and they're just filled with joy and whimsy. I like chalant people. I like it when they're a little bit goofy. Like chalant, not nonchalant. Yeah. And that's just like a trait between all the genders, I would say, because for me, especially in terms of like looks, you can always get fitter. You can always like do something about your appearance and whatever. But not everybody can like, you know, be there for you, you know? Like, what if we're generationally chopped? You'll be very surprised. I genuinely wholeheartedly believe that most people are not as chopped as they think they are, and if they think they're chopped, it's because, like, they're letting social media bully them. I like communication and nice things. Yeah. I don't know. Like, anybody can get fit and, like, you know, work out, be, like, keep their hygiene, but doesn't make them a good person or nice to hang out with. You know? What's the best way to support you if I'm not really loaded? But I listen every once in a while and I love catching your streams. Well, then that's the best way to support me, buddy. You don't gotta be loaded. Would you rather have your life narrated by Morgan Freeman or Samuel L. Jackson? Probably Morgan Freeman. His voice does it more for me. Hey, Tones of Fire, welcome in. Hi, Uriel, welcome in, welcome in. How you doing? How you been? As a person who's growing older, how do I deal with the gray morning that the world is passing you by and people you thought were your friends are drifting away even if you make efforts to reach out? Based on your concern, I don't think you're as old as you think you are. Because usually with age, you'll realize that, you know, people, you're probably like 22. Like, calm down. Like, it's a really hard part of your life to be in because everybody around you is kind of starting to do their own thing. And you're still very used to that school mindset where everybody is within reach and you can just go to your friend's house after school. It's nothing personal, and it doesn't mean life is passing by. It just means that life is transitioning, and that's okay. So, I don't know. I don't mean to clock you, but you're probably, like, not that old. You're gonna be okay. You get more used to it, and the people that matter will stay. Allie, I need advice. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years and we're going on a trip. Lately, he's been acting really suspicious, like hiding his phone and asking me questions about rings. Wait! Is this the girlfriend of the guy who was asking the question earlier? No way! I'm confident that he wants to propose, but I don't want to ruin it for him and make it awkward. What do I do? Honestly, I think it's more funny to just play along with it. And if he finds out that you knew all along, just let him find out by himself. But that's so fucking funny. This has to be staged, but like I'm the kind of person that likes to believe things on the internet, so I'm hoping that this is not staged. And I wish you the best of luck in the Netherlands. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I like a good fake story. If it brings me joy or happiness. I don't like the people on like Reddit who'll be like r/that never happened. You know, it's like, so what if it never happened? I don't care. Who asked you? Wilfred? No one asked you. I love WWE. I love wrestling. I think wrestling is amazing. I'm all for kayfabe. I'm all for performance and entertainment. I like it. Let people have their fun and their fantasy. It's nice. Do you have any tips when it comes to finding good fresh produce? Like, how do you know a fruit is sweet because of this and that? Doesn't have to be just fruits. You have to listen. Have to listen to the fruit, and you gotta hear a ding in your head, and if you don't hear the ding, then it's not good. You gotta whisper, you gotta listen. That's the only way you'll know that it's good. Smack the watermelon with all your fingers out. Give it a good old, you know what I mean? Smack it real good. Smack it like it insulted your mother. Dub or sub? Fucking hell. It depends, okay? It depends. It depends. Your voice is kind of soothing, not to be weird, really. Should I start an ASMR channel, maybe? It could be good. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Dub or sub? If I'm actively watching it, sub. If I'm watching an anime in the background and I've watched it before, dub. And that's mainly because sometimes you're just doing shit while you watch and you can't pay attention to the text on the screen. Both have their uses. And there's some instances where the dub is genuinely just really fucking good. Like, I hesitate to say that one is better than the other. But like, I've watched Fairy Tail maybe 5 times through in my whole life. And I've watched it equal parts subbed as I have dubbed. But the more I rewatch Fairy Tail nowadays, the more I'll up for dub just because I'm doing something else while I'm watching it. Like if I'm playing video games, you know? Ghost stories is crazy. Yeah, no. If we're talking about ghost stories, then dub is pretty iconic. Yeah. But both is my lazy fucking answer. Hey, Allie, we know you're a dragon girl. However, since your model doesn't have wings, it'd be more apt to call you a drake. Bro! I'm a dragon, not a drake. Don't you dare call me that ever again. Don't you dare call me that ever again. Now that's a backhanded compliment. Mods, seize 'em. Seize 'em. Allie, I found out that I got my significant other pregnant. She said that she wants you to decide our firstborn's name. Hurry! This better not be that Netherlands couple. Like, goddamn. Y'all are going really fast. It's literally only been an hour. Okay, we're gonna get through this. You're gonna name your firstborn Allie. Even if it's a man. Or a boy. Or a male. You know, like, just name it Allie. Alekirser III. If you were to get into cosplay, what characters would you want to cosplay? Like, shit. Chikawa. All the homies pull up to Halloween. They're all sexy like. You got so many Yor Forgers and Ada Wongs and Tifa Lockharts, and I'm just there. I'm fucking Chikawa, bro. That'd be good. I'm a really big sucker for female cosplayers cosplaying as like male anime characters. I'm a big sucker for it. And gender bends. Have you seen Gender Bent Gojo? Ooh! Holy shit. Have you seen Gender Bent Gojo? Look it up right now. Look it up right now. I have it saved on my phone, but I can't show you my phone. So just imagine it. Just imagine it. Shit, I don't know. Something goofy. Something goofy, for sure. Yeah, something goofy. Aerith. Aerith is cool. I'd try Allie, but I need to do a little bit of growing in the chest department before I can cosplay my VTuber. I'll need a little bit of help with the gals if I want to cosplay Allie. I gotta be honest with you. What anime rom-com bit would you want to experience in real life? For some examples, a girl falling down the stairs, landing on your face, either boobs or butt first. Well, holy fucking shit. I think you answered my question. That. You said it. Yeah, that. Duh. Automatic answer. Animate hits to the face. Now. Trapped in the closet with your crush? That sounds stressful. Being trapped in a closet with a person that you like sounds very stressful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm claustrophobic as shit. I don't like tight spaces. That sounds scary. I'm sorry. But it'd have to be the tits to the face. That sounds a lot better. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Dear Dragon of the Lake, please answer this question for a university paper that I'm working on. What is society's relationship with restorative and retributive justice in media? Do you have an opinion regarding the punishment of actions versus the repair of damages done by said actions? Do people deserve a second chance? To call back to a video game that you played, mouthwashing, are people defined by their worst actions or their best? Why are you giving me your philosophy homework? Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't do this shit for free. Why are you giving me your fucking philosophy 302 homework? Get out of here. You do it yourself. Also, how would you even cite this in your paper? Like, oh, this is my favorite VTuber told me what to think about retributive justice. My favorite VTuber is secretly a cop who believes in the prison state. Like, what am I supposed to say here? Alekirser of the Twitch. No, don't cite me. Don't give me your homework. I'm dumb. I'm dumb! Oh my god. Did I tell you? My friend. One of my favorite Twitch clips of all time is the Invader V crash out on Twitch where she's like, I love being a Twitch streamer. I love being a Twitch streamer. Like I watch it all the time. And one of my friends actually cited that in her paper on parasocialism, like the Twitch clip. She cited the Twitch clip in her paper. And I thought that was so funny. Seeing that as like an actual academic citation, a Twitch clip. It was crazy. I think about it a lot. The state of academia is concerning. It's very concerning. But no, I'm not doing your philosophy homework. I'm not doing it. Because then we have to get into like that, we'd have to get into like the like ethics and the law. Maybe read some Kant. Read some Kant, maybe. Read Kant. Oh, Allie, the wise dragon of the Wally Valley, how can I tell the difference between good media and slop? I get the idea of seeing and hearing everything, but how do I develop my own judgment? Should I study the basics of how to do those things, or is that not really necessary? The good thing is, like, the older you get, and I know that sounds really condescending, but it really is true, is like the more detached you become from other people's opinions, it usually comes with age, because then you start realizing that life is too fucking short to let other people's definition of what slop and good media is define what you think slop and good media is. I would say, like, the best way to enjoy media is to watch it, and if it made you feel good or if it was enjoyable, then it's good. Like, I honestly, genuinely don't really like calling media slop because there's so much quote-unquote slop out there that has brought so much joy to people. And I don't think anything that brings joy to people can really and truly be slop. In the sense that, like, slop to me is like, why does it exist? What good does it give to people? You can have a very well-articulated and intellectual piece of media, but it can still be slop because it doesn't actually help anybody. Because the way that it's like depicted, or like the way that it like goes about things is just really inconvenient and annoying. I think good media is anything that's entertaining, basically. And that's just a matter of personal judgment. Don't listen to other people's opinions on how to think or feel about certain media. Form your own opinion before you consider, like, what other people think. That way you avoid having your opinions be defined by others. Just don't do it. Or, I mean, if you find it convenient, you can latch onto, like, a content creator, or you can latch onto, like, a good YouTuber and let them define your entire worldview on everything. That's what I used to do, is like, I'll get really into a video essayist on YouTube, and whatever they think or say, I just like absorb it. And I'm just like, yeah, that's my new opinion. But don't do that. Don't be like that. You'll live a richer life if you just let yourself like things. Like for me, I like biopics. A lot of people didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody. A lot of people didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody, but I loved it. I thought it was so entertaining. Sorry, one of my anime figurines dropped. We're good. Yeah, no, like, I don't know, just like things. Who fell? Freerin. I probably mentioned her too much. I have like 3 Freerin figurines on my table. I have Freerin like stanced up, I have Freerin with Vern, and I have Freerin stuck in a mimic chest. After you started as a content creator and have a community of majority men, has there been something new that you've learned about men? Not really. It's kind of confirmed what I've already kind of known, is that they're like, you know, men are just people and they have different feelings and thoughts and they're individuals, and it's not good to judge them based on things like, you know, like I don't know, like dudes are dudes and girls are girls and people have their own thoughts and feelings and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. After doing ASMR, I learned that you guys are people. Like, that's not how I want to phrase it, but it's just confirming that I already knew that. Like, you know, like, you're people. What's something funny? I need to make this funny. I learned that... No, I can't say that on Twitch. I don't know. I don't know. What have I learned? What do you think I've learned? It was gonna be something about like not being stored in the balls or something like that. Like it's not actually stored in the balls. Men like to be good boys for some reason. I watch enough anime to know that that was like a demographic though, of like dudes. Yeah, balls are stored in the balls. And like balls like move. They like move. That's what I learned. I've had to do a lot of research to write the content that I do. Like they move. The balls move. They like juggle and shit. They move. Yeah, that's what I learned, I guess. Next question. When you first got comments like my bloodline dies with me tonight and it's so over for me, the boys can't listen to this, I'm so cooked. Were they annoying or funny? I think they're funny, as long as people don't take it too far and start getting a little too, like, into topics that their therapist should be helping them with, you know? Like, I think they're funny, slightly overdone. I've learned not to mind them as much anymore. But if you're getting into like a spiral in my YouTube comments, maybe take your hands off the keyboard and consult a mental health professional. And I mean that with all the love in the world. Yeah. That's my thoughts. If you had to make a list, which audios would be mandatory listens for someone to become a true wanky? When She Loved Me. Final Broadcast. The Oreo Girl audio. My girlfriend is a supervillain. And those are like the mandatory lessons, I would say. Everything else is very like, it depends on your personal tastes. Yeah. Everything else is like, I wouldn't say mandatory, like it depends on your personal tastes. Yep. Next one. Hey boss, I'm not sure if you remember this, but the last Chat Summits question stream, you told me to take my liberated squishmallows and build a wall surrounding my home. The wall has been completed, and I'm wondering if you have any ideas on how I can add to it and make it even more glorious. Wait, so you have like an actual wall of plushies surrounding your house? That's... Damn. Well, I don't know what you can add to it. Maybe like a cutout. Like a cutout of like an anime girl that you enjoy. That could be fun. And then you can bring people over. I bet they'd really be into that. You want to see my anime girl cutout? Yeah. Dear Dragon, how do I stop procrastinating? I'm typing questions about how to stop procrastinating instead of actually doing work. Help! If you have ADHD, get on that Adderall. I'm not gonna lie. I've been needing it a lot more. If you don't have ADHD, I'm gonna be honest. It depends on what you're locking in on. For me, it's really hard because the way that I lock in is I listen to a specific kind of music. But because I do audio work, I can't listen to music while I do it. If I'm recording, I can't listen to music. If I'm editing, I can't listen to music, so I'm kind of fucked. But you're not fucked, good sir. So, maybe listen to like some hardstyle beats. For some reason, like really, really deep EDM beats helps me lock in. I don't know why. Like it legit triggers a fucking response in me that demands my attention to whatever I'm doing. Will you do a Met Gala outfit review? Oh. I do it every year. But I don't know about this year. I don't know. I have a lot of very vocal support for it, but it's a very vocal minority. Like, a lot of people are kind of confused whenever I do the Met Gala review stream, so I'm just like, maybe not this year. I'll think about it. Oh my god, so many questions about proposing. During EVO Japan, famous FGC member and SF6 player, Punk, proposed to his girlfriend backstage in the venue in front of a bathroom line, and she said yes! I don't want to, like, tell people what to do or not do, but if I had a significant other and they proposed to me in a bathroom line, I don't know. It depends. It depends. I don't want to say. Like, maybe it's like an inside joke. Maybe there's more to it. But it's definitely a choice. She did say yes, so maybe it's like an inside joke or like a sentimental thing for them. Maybe they met at a bathroom line. I don't know. Best place? Honestly, I'm a sucker for your house. Worst place? Oh my god, imagine you propose to someone on a hot air balloon and they say no, and you just have to wait until the hot air balloon is back on the ground. The moon? Oh my god, wait, low-key the moon would actually be pretty good. But if they say no... God, it's hard. What do you guys think? Where's the best or worst place to propose? The moon sounds really romantic, but it could also be really awkward, like the rocket ship ride home. If they say no. Plane crash is crazy. That's true. Worst place to propose? Your sister's pregnancy. Like, imagine your sister's giving birth and then you propose. That's kind of awkward. Twitch chat, another great worst place, I would say. At a wedding is kind of... whatever. It depends on the person having the wedding. For me personally, though, somebody proposed to somebody at my wedding, it's like... This is not about you! This is not about you! This is about me! At least wait until reception! This is about me! Oh my god. Next question. Allie, I hope you had a swell Tuesday. How long should someone keep working or pursuing something before calling it quits and moving on? I'm a songwriter and I've been writing, recording, and pitching songs for a while with little to no success. Should I cut my losses, focus on my day job, and find something else to do with my time and shmoney? I mean, is it your hobby? Does it bring you joy? Is it something that you would be able to keep doing? Like, okay, this is how I like to assess my hobbies. If it were guaranteed that it would never, ever bring me any kind of financial success, would I still be doing it? And your answer to that question will say a lot about how important that hobby really is to you. And that's not to say that, like, you can absolutely have a hobby with the purposes of wanting to make money. Let's be real, in this economy, that's totally valid. It's totally valid. But this is a bit of like it really depends. Like, I usually try to discourage people from giving up on their art because I think that art is really important for a well-rounded lifestyle. It just brings a certain kind of joy and motion to your life that is lost when you don't do it. But like, it depends on too much for me to really give a clear answer. I hope I gave you some stuff to think about, though. Yeah. Allie, what can I do to become the poggiest, woggiest, rolliest, poliest, rootinest, tootinest, la pequeña reina, anime dragon girl like you? Well... You're gonna wanna drink something really disgusting every morning called a protein shot. Okay? Then you're gonna wanna cry about it for like 30 minutes. And then have something actually appetizing for lunch. And then, you're gonna wanna do something called trap yourself in your vocal booth for 10 hours straight. And then, you're gonna wanna do something called playing Stardew Valley in your bed until you fall asleep. Preferably for 8 hours straight. And then, you're gonna wanna do something called getting a cat that runs over your face at 4 a.m. And then, you're gonna wanna realize that a year has passed and nothing has changed. And that's how you become the poggiest, woggiest, rolliest, poliest, rudest, tootinest, lapic in the arena anime dragon like me. I basically just described my daily routine. I hope that works. Next one. Can I get $80 million to buy Fumo? No. You don't need $80 million to buy a Fumo. You need like 30 bucks. I'm tossing it to you right now. I'm Venmoing it to you. Here's 30 bucks. How do I make the world a better place? Just keep trying your best. Keep trying your best and encourage everybody around you to do their best too, because that's all anybody can ask of you, is to do your best. Yeah! And weed, lots of weed. That was advice from that guy, not me. I didn't say anything about weed. But if you wanted to have a funny gummy every now and then, I wouldn't blame you. Allie, I recently got into skincare. Do you have any tips or recommendations for a beginner like me on how to take care of my skin? Thanks for the advice in advance. It really depends on your skin type, dude. It really depends on your skin type. I got the worst fucking skin type in the fucking world. I got the fussiest fucking skin. So what works for me won't work for you. Honestly, in terms of like home remedies, r/skincare addiction and r/Asian skincare and all those subreddits actually have some pretty good wikis. And that's literally where I get a lot of my advice from. But I also had like really bad breakouts when I was younger, so like it took a lot to even get to where I currently am, and I still don't think I have the greatest skin. But I don't know. That's actually how I found Reddit. Was through there. Was those subreddits. I don't get breakouts anymore, but it's like one of those things where like the way like it lingers, you know? It lingers. Like you still have the feelings of being very self-conscious about it. Because you grew up with it, you know? Hello, Inksy. Hello. Inksy, do you have any skincare advice for chat? Not to put you on the spot or anything. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're doing good. Don't wash with... Dear God, please don't wash with like your 3-in-1 body wash, cement, car cleaner. Don't do it. Though the thing is, like, I know a lot of guys that'll do that and they'll still have perfect skin. It's kind of crazy. Like your fucking 8-in-1 toothpaste, deodorant, fucking cement, car to like oil or whatever. Like, it's fucking insane. All the men that do that and have skin that's better than mine, so maybe I'm the one who's falling for big skin. Me too. I am big skin's biggest consumer, their biggest sucker. I legitimately just let my dermatologist handle all of it because I don't trust myself to make big girl decisions. Yeah. Less is more too. Less is more. You don't need like 8,000 different face masks and shit. Sometimes you really just need like a good cleanser, a good toner, and maybe just drink a bunch more water and like eat healthy. That's what they don't tell ya. Is your diet and drinking water is 90% of the equation. It's true. Big Skin wants you to use 12,000 fucking toners and like hydroglamorphophobic acid and like freaking palm extract derived from the last remaining elephant on the Moroccan islands, like a bunch of bullshit like that. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They're lying to you. I hope that answers your question. That was a very aggressive response. Not this one again. Woodchuck, blowchuck, whatever. What is something seemingly insignificant that brings joy to your life? Making my own pasta. I fucking love making my own pasta, bro. Is it inconvenient? Is it unnecessary? Kind of. But does it bring me joy because it like like, it's something that most people will never really think to do or have to do. But it just tastes better. It's not necessary, but it just feels better. Making pasta on your own. I like it. If you had the chance to play D&D with your friends, what character, class, and race would you choose to play as? I can answer this. I almost exclusively play a half-elf bard. A half-elf bard whenever I play D&D. I'm very basic. I literally only know how to play a bard. I was in a D&D campaign, like, mostly one-shots with, like, my friends. And none of us knew how to play D&D, so it was a lot of, like, fucking around, finding out. Orny. Yeah. D&D can get real crazy. That's true. That's very true. How often do you revisit a scrapped draft or idea and rework it into a brand new idea that works better? All the fucking time. All my first ideas are fucking booty cheeks, bro. They're straight doo-doo from a butt. But I have a huge notebook filled with ideas, and it's got like tabs and shit so I can refer back to them. And I'll usually, like, I do something kind of crazy where I'll just like, I'll rewrite the idea multiple times on the same page until I suddenly get like a jolt of inspiration. I don't know why it works for me. It kind of helps me like hyperfixate on it, and then boom, it turns into something different. Everyone's questions are so well behaved. Girl, you didn't see. You didn't see. It was... Actually, they're actually pretty good. But like, a few of the ones before this were a little... They were a little, nothing outside of like what a normal VTuber could expect. You know, like toes, feet pics, you know, like the usual. You have a question? Yes! Yes! You have bypass privilege. You can ask any question you would like. What's the conversation with your tax guy like? Oh! So I'm Canadian, and it's actually kind of not too bad. Not too bad. And I think it's because I finally like let myself stop like doing everything by myself. Like I got an accountant that keeps track of like my weird shit like expenses and stuff, and I let them handle like they're used to handling influencers and like creators and stuff. So they're not too weirded out when I'm like, "Oh, I got a 30-gallon drum of lube and I want to write it off as a business expense." They're like, "Okay." Okay. They have asked some questions though. They've asked me like kind of the nature of what it is I do, and it's kind of like, that was just an example. I don't have a 30-gallon drum of lube. That's just trying to put a crazy example out there. You know when you're trying to open a credit card and they ask you what you do and how much you make? It's really awkward. I used to just say, "Oh, I'm a student." And now I'm kind of just like, I work self-employed marketing. Self-employed marketer. And they're just like, content creator. Yeah. I just don't like saying it. It's like my shame to bear. It's like, yeah. But the good news is, if you tell them you're a content creator, they usually just assume like, oh, you dance on TikTok or something. I try to avoid the VTuber conversation as much as possible. Dude, it's straight up insane. Like, I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, I've never found a good answer for when people ask me what I do. Because I'll say voice acting, but then they ask me what have I voiced in? Or if I say marketing, they'll be like, what kind of marketing? Like, you don't... Oh my god. You have so many stories. I've straight up just started lying. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for me, chat, I was in an Uber once to meet my friend, and the lady asked me, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I work in software engineering. I work on cloud computing technologies." And they stopped answering. Like, they stopped asking questions because it's like, to them, they're just like, "Oh, you're like, I don't wanna get into like the weeds of that." Favorite programming language? Fuck if I know. HTML. That's, I don't know. The most coding I've ever done was for my Tumblr blog when I was like 12. I don't freaking know. CSI. Isn't that a TV show? I'm incriminating myself. I'm sure our lovely VTuber friend Inksy here knows a lot more about all this stuff than I do. I tried telling this lady I did social media, and then they asked me, social media for what? You just never win. So you gotta get really good at coming up with really bullshit backstories, dude. Gotta get real bad. Really good. I'm a member of a criminal organization who's responsible for the distribution of items, both legal and illegal. How do I pivot from a life of crime to that of a VTuber? So here's what you're gonna do. Sometimes you have to hide in plain sight. And I mean that genuinely. Is if you hide in plain sight, people are gonna think that you're just joking. If you get too suspicious, they're gonna start wondering that something is up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be a crime lord VTuber. And your whole character, your whole lore is just things that have actually happened to you. And nobody's gonna suspect a thing. They're just gonna think, wow, you have a really overactive imagination. So really what you're gonna wanna do, this is the same case with any job. You wanna leverage your past experiences, right? So you're gonna use your experiences to make the most believable lore possible, and you're just gonna get really into character. And you'll be a VTuber just fine. Yeah. Like, I agree. Like, how do I get started? You might as well have put like a freaking the cat smile, like a smiley face. Be a drug lord VTuber. Gay son or thought daughter? Okay. All right. Both. Because I bet they'd be really good friends. Both. Sorry, I've been fiddling with like... I'd say gay thought son daughter. I don't care. Thought daughter makes money. And then the gay son can get like would probably get along with her really well. Like they'd be really good siblings to each other. Support your kids. Would you ever watch all of Skibidi Toilet? I have, because I've babysat for my cousins before. But this is like way back, like a few years ago or so. I've seen all of Skibidi Toilet just through those sessions that I've spent babysitting my cousins. They're kind of whack with it. I'm not doing this. I'm sorry. Why do they call it oven when you off in the cold food and out hot eat the We're not doing this. You're not doing this again. This is like the Woodchuck, but worse. We're not doing this. Ever since you arrived on Earth and found shelter, has anyone from the kingdom put a bounty on you? Yeah. So like, you know how in One Piece, the Straw Hat Pirates have a really huge bounty on them? Mine is like that, but times 10, because I burned down the Library of Alexandria. There's a huge bounty for me, and that's why I'm in hiding. That's why I live in a bunker in the middle of nowhere. How do you get inspiration for the scripts you write? I have a really, really messed up mind. Whenever I write my own scripts, I always add a twinge of like angst to it, and that's because I like it. But I also really like fluffy stuff because you need to take a break from the angst sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get inspiration from the media that I consume. And I used to write a lot of fan fiction, so I'm kind of just used to coming up with bullshit on the fly. Yeah. What is your favorite Mexican candy? Fuck! Wait, I have an answer to this. I like Mexican soda a lot. There's this Mexican orange soda that I really fucking love. But like Mexican candy, it starts with a D. And it's like strawberry chocolate, sort of. Fuck, what is it called? It starts with a D. It's like strawberry, like chocolate or something. Divalin? Yes! That. I like it. I like it. I think it's really good. That's one of the only ones I know, though. I haven't had a lot of Mexican candy. Yup. Dubalin or something. Yeah. Would you ever consider streaming Warframe or Baldur's Gate 3? Baldur's Gate 3, maybe, but it needs to be modded to fuck. It needs to be giga fucking modded. Warframe I've never played before. So maybe not too likely. And yeah, the GIFs I can post at some point. Do you have a favorite mech design or just a favorite mecha in general? I've never been the biggest mecha girl, but like Ava has some pretty cool mechas. She's probably one of those. Probably one of those. Ava has really cool mechas. I posted this on May 4th, Star Wars Day. If you were in the Star Wars universe and have a lightsaber with a white kyber crystal, which side would you be on? The Jedi or the Sith? Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I'm not trying to be, like, divisive. If I had to choose a side, probably the Jedi. I don't really want a red lightsaber or anything, and I also like, but I also just don't, I don't really like the Jedi very much. I'm very much a late season Clone Wars fan where they're kind of all outed as being assholes. And I also really fucking like Ahsoka, so choosing a side to me just feels like it kind of undoes that. Who is the hottest Genshin character? For guys, Rhea Thesley. For girls, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Genshin, not Zenliz. Genshin. Hottest for girls. I was never the biggest Genshin player, so it's hard to say. I do think... Because, like, to me, like, hottest is, like... I can... Nefer is very, very attractive. That's true. Nefer's a good one. But my favorite characters are, like... I really like, you know, like... Yellen's nice, but I wouldn't consider her my personal favorite. Arlecchino is also good. Columbina isn't the hottest one to me. She's the most lovable. To me personally. Like, there's hottest and then there's beautiful. You know? Miko is a baddie. I like Miko a lot. Like, just the ship of Miko. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be so fucking honest with you. I consume Genshin primarily via Yuri. The amount of time that I've spent playing the actual fucking game is microscopic when compared to the amount of time I've spent reading fanfiction or looking at the art. I want to be completely honest. If that makes me a LARPer, so be it. But like it's micro-fucking-scopic, dude. Fave Yuri couple. I like Aimiko. I like Luffer. I like Sambina. I like Arlefuri. I like a lot of ships. I like a lot of ships, dude. I could go on. You want me to go on? Just say I don't like I like the game fine, but I like the characters and their designs and their stories a lot more than like the gameplay. Let's move on. I was wondering about this stuff I've seen online. How would you balance passion and making a living? A lot of people say do something you're into, but 9 times out of 10, if you're only passion driven, things are bound to go south. You pursue your passion smartly. You don't do it blindly. You admit that in this universe, it is hard to make a living from your passion when you're starting out. So you give yourself the best possible chance to do both. Like, that's just how you go about it. Don't quit your day job, but don't let your day job distract you from your passions. Sometimes that means compromise, but that's just what being an adult is like you don't always have time to do only what you love. Even sometimes when you're doing what you love for a living, you end up doing stuff that you don't quite love because reasons. So it's just about balance. You'll make time for the things you care about. Is the Alifumo water resistance for experiment purposes? No. And you shouldn't put her in a washing machine either. You need to scrub her down in a tub with detergent and a brush. Please don't put your Alifumo in a washing machine. It won't end well. Your ranking of the high school DxD girls. Koneko, Rias, everyone else. What is the most creative insult you've ever heard online? God, it was from one of my mods. One of my mods, Sharkbait. He said something really, really fucking funny. It was like... I'd have a lot less worries in my life if I had your brain, or something like that. I'm not saying it quite the same way that he said it. But it was like, it was something along the lines of like, I'd be a lot less stressed if I thought as much as you. And I thought that was so fucking funny. My life would be I would be a lot happier if I thought as much as you. Oh my god, that was great. That was amazing. Have you ever power scaled yourself as a dragon against other VTubers? No. I think I'm pretty weak. But that's okay. I don't know. If you could bring a character to reality, who would you pick and why? Oh my god, we're getting to the end of the question. It's crazy. If you could bring one character to bring to reality, who would you pick and why? Shit. Who are my comfort characters? Silas? I don't know. Silas might be like my favorite Love in Deep Space character, but I don't know if I want to deal with him in real life. I think I want to keep him as my inaccessible virtual anime boyfriend. Me? That'd be really fun if I brought me to life. But in reality, I'm a real person. Dante from DMZ. Leon Kennedy. These are very, very, very suitable answers. Honestly, the self-love answer would be I'd bring myself to life. But Hudson and Miku, honestly, I raise you probably Teto. I bring Teto to life. I remember you said in the Discord you had a Wii. Did you play any of the Epic Mickey games? I've never played them, but I have seen them, and they look very fun. That's absolutely a kind of game that I would play. Insert hugs. Thank you! But I've never played any, like, Disney video games, but I know that they're actually really addicting. A godlike being appears before you and offers you the chance to interact with any person in history, living or dead, for a single day. Who would you choose and why? I'm always at a loss whenever I'm asked this, and then I answer with somebody very generic. Interact with any person living or dead for a single day. Any person in history, living or dead, for a single day. I also choose that guy's wife. The Redditors are breaking through. The Redditors are breaking through. Welcome, Redditors. I'm trying to think. Fuck. Let me think. You'd bring Michael Jackson back to life. The answer that I used to give was Marilyn Monroe. Just because I want to, like, I have a lot of questions about, like, I'm the kind of person that hates, like, being left in the dark about, like, tragic cases. I like when there's at least some kind of conclusion. I'd like to know what she thought of the life that she lived. Let me think. Honestly, that's a great question. My grandpa, probably. My grandpa could be good. He was my best friend when I was little. Probably my grandpa. What do they call it? Not again! Nope. Have you ever been to a concert? Yes. My first one, I can't say. But I can tell you that I went to a Mitski concert and I really liked it. It wasn't my first one, but I really liked it. It was one of those experiences that made me realize that live music is just so magical and so beautiful. Red Velvet, also. And EXO. I like all sorts of concerts. I like the mellow ones, and I also like the lively kind of like dancing from your fucking seat ones too. I've been to a lot of K-pop concerts. What would you do if you were in VAing? I answered that earlier. I'd be a baker probably. Do you have any advice for voice training outside of your vocal range? How many members? For the concert tour? Why are you asking me? That's gonna be able to let you know which concerts I've been to. I've been to a lot of EXO concerts. So I've been to anywhere from like 9 to like, I would say 7. I'm trying to be very vague. Do I have any advice for voice training outside of my normal range? Fuck. I would say learn how to sing. It's kind of like how when you're a figure skater, you need to learn how to... It's really important to, like, be flexible. And ballet is a really good way to do that. Voice acting and singing are kind of like 2 peas in a pod. So if you practice your singing and you're like it helps you train your breathing, and it also helps you just like comfortably, like develop a comfortable technique for reaching lower and higher ranges, I would say. You're curious, it's okay. Singing isn't just about reaching low notes and reaching really high notes either. Like, a lot of singing is just like fundamentals on how to control your voice, and it's good for you. Allie, who is your first fictional crush? My first fictional guy crush was probably Zuko, and then my first fictional girl crush was probably Shigo from Kim Possible. How do you like your onions? Caramelized. Raw is crazy. I like fried and caramelized. I don't really like pickled onions. If you had the power to give kidney stones to anyone, would you use it for good or evil? I mean, probably good. Like, I'd imagine I'd give it to somebody bad, and that would be for the good of the world, or I don't know. This is... That's such a strange superpower. I have the power to give anyone kidney stones. Okay, sure. What is the least flattering kind of hat? I'm saying this as somebody who used to wear a lot of bucket hats. I don't think bucket hats are flattering. I don't think bucket hats are flattering. Like, I've owned a lot of bucket hats and I've worn a lot of bucket hats. I don't think they're a flattering hat, but I do think that they're cute and comfy. They're neat and they're convenient, but they're not flattering. They're not intended to be flattering. They're intended to, they're very functional. I'd say they're not very flattering, but it's okay, because like, you're not wearing it for that. What does happiness mean to you, boss? Is it helping others, yourself, or something else entirely? Happiness to me is freedom and control over my own destiny. I do believe that helping others brings a kind of happiness you can't get from anything else. But if I had to be selfish, I'd say happiness is... I don't know, being able to stop and smell the roses every once in a while. Control over my, like, I don't know. Control, feeling like I'm not, like, powerless against bad situations, I guess. And feeling like I can, you know. Agency, yeah. That's what I would say. I think everybody deserves that. Have you ever been to the Philippines? Uy, Philippines. Yes, I have. I think it's a beautiful country. Am I a fan of One Piece? I'm a recent fan of One Piece. But I'm still on like episode 80 something. So I'm very, very recent. Like very, very new to it. But I've crossed over the arcs that a lot of people say, like, once you watch this, it'll help you decide if you like One Piece. And I've decided that I like it. I think it's brought me a lot of joy. I'm a big fan of long shonens, and my only regret is that I don't have enough time to watch all of them because they're so fucking long. But it's really nice, and Nami is amazing. Nami's wonderful. She's a great character. She could be better, but like gripes with the creator aside, I think she's great. Would you ever do anything of the things from your audios in real life? Well, fuck, if I could be a blacksmith in real life and have a knight dude that beats dragons up. That'd be pretty sick. But like, I'm choosing to interpret this as like my safer regalias. Sure. What about the other audios? I mean, I've made all sorts of stuff from like really cuddly handholdy stuff, and that'd be nice. Yeah? Would I become an Oreo girl in real life? Mega stuffed? Sure, why not? What's your favorite thing when it comes to VTubing? The community. Like, no, legit. Like, I've met a bunch of really cool girls and just friends in general doing this. And I really like that because I enjoy having peers that have the same interests as me, and it makes me feel less alone. Yeah, that's so sweet. It's like, yeah, I feel a lot better because I have friends that understand what I do. And when I started doing Alekirser, I had friends, but like a lot of them had different interests, so it's just nice to be able to talk about my interests with like people who get it. Are there any IPs you partake of that you'd voice in given the opportunity? Yes, absolutely. I'd love to voice in Zenless. Zone Zero. That would be really nice. I can think of a few other games. A few indie games. If they were looking for a voice actor, I'd happily do it for them. Anyway. Do I still play Minecraft? Me and my friend are trying to make a mod, and I hope you can check it. Get out of here! Oh my god. Fuck no. What's your favorite frozen margarita recipe / flavor? I love me a fucking peach frozen fucking margarita. I love me a white peach frozen margarita. White peach frozen margaritas are so fucking good. And it's one of the default recipes that comes with a ninja slushie, I think. It's really yummy. Are you a geek or a freak? Both. Princess Allie of the Cursor, do you know that you are loved, valued, and respected? No, loved wasn't there. I just made that up. Loved isn't one of the things in here. I just made that up. Valued, respected, and appreciated. Well, I do now. Thank you. Thank you. I just added loved. That was me self-inserting. How is Cat? Which horror game have you played on stream has been your favorite? Honestly, a few standout horror games that I've played. Who's Lila? Killer Frequency. Last Report. A lot of indie games. Mouthwashing for sure. Killer Frequency is so fucking good. Holy shit. Killer Frequency is legit one of like my favorite playthroughs I've ever done, even though it traumatized me. What horror game hasn't? Like, it's so fucking good. You're trapped in a radio station and you're helping people with a serial killer. Like, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Do you have plans to play Amori? Yes, I actually have some of the Amori soundtracks saved on my Spotify. Did I save everyone in Killer Frequency? Yes. What are some tips that have helped you in writing roleplay scripts? Well, actually, no, it's been long enough that I actually don't remember. I definitely saved most people in Killer Frequency. Oh, Fears to Fathom. Fears to Fathom is an amazing horror series. All the games have the same format, but it's an addicting format. What are some tips that have helped you in writing roleplay scripts? Don't be afraid to kill your first draft. it'll most likely be shit. And that's okay. You have to get really comfortable, like, scrapping your creations. Because that's the only way you'll get better. If it's already good, read it again, sleep on it. It's probably not as good as you think it is. It's sad but true. Why don't you play games for more than one stream? I prefer one-shots. Just because, like, if a game kind of drags, it's harder for me to stream just because of my attention span. But if I really, really like a game, I'll do it again. It's just very, very dependent. I just try to avoid games that I can't finish in one stream or two streams just because there's so much that I want to play. And I only stream 3 times a week. Elden, that's not a question. Okay, a few more. What Pokemon do you like the most? Snivy. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Okay, we got a few more questions. I'm gonna speed answer this, okay? What would you do for a Klondike bar? Not much. I don't actually like them very much. Do I like Amazing Digital Circus? Yes. I'm waiting until it finishes so I can watch it with chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your favorite color of the alphabet? Yes. If you were to turn into a guy for a day, what would the first thing you do be, and what would you do the rest of the day? Jerk off. Have you listened to Eminem, A$AP Rocky, Lil Wayne, or Nas? I listen to A$AP Rocky. I think he's great. Kiss, marry, kill, Leon Kennedy, Chris Redfield, me. Marry Chris Redfield, kiss Chris Redfield, kill... Do you have certain mannerisms you tend to do unconsciously? Play with Legos. What consoles do you have and what's your favorite? PS5, GameCube, PS1, PC, Switch 2, Switch. I love my PC. Can you tell us about the time you almost joined a K-pop agency? So basically, I auditioned online. I got chosen to go to an audition in Korea, but my mom highly discouraged me from doing it, and also some stuff happened to my flight, so it never ended up happening. But I probably wouldn't have made it anyway. Why didn't the Jedi Council not grant Anakin the rank of Master? Because he wasn't ready yet. He wasn't mature enough yet. It wasn't about his skill, it was about his temperament. He still had a lot of hatred and stuff in his heart that he had to overcome. What are things that you pretend to know about? Almost everything. How do you organize your tabs or bookmarks? I don't. What do you consider the best and worst chat submission? I have an answer, but I won't say because I care about chat. What is the meaning of life, the universe, everything? Be nice to people and do your best. Are you Ally because you're Cursor, or are you Cursor because you're Ally? I'm Cursor because I'm Alekirser. Can I blow a bubble with gum? Yes, I love doing it. Unexpected music genre that I enjoy? Christian death metal. First experience with voice acting? Minecraft machinimas and Fortnite parodies. Holiday has your favorite aesthetic? I love Christmas. Deal breaker, mayonnaise, or Miracle Whip? Miracle Whip. If you were interested in visual novels or dating sims, what are qualities that make good visual novels? Likable characters. Gameplay that is challenging but not frustrating. Town Hall and Clash of Clans. Last I checked, 10? But I haven't played it in a while. How does your recording process work? I find something that I like, I record it, and I do that multiple times a day. Are there any Zenless Zone Zero characters you'd like to voice? Yes. Belle. What made you want to make ASMR GF content? I was dared to, and also I used to listen to it during the pandemic. I've discovered recipes from my grandma. Which should I make? Cherry swirl, strawberry cheesecake. Strawberry cheesecake. And that's it! Over 200 questions. We did it, chat. Hell yeah. That was great. Y'all were pretty good this time. The questions are really nice. I found that very enjoyable. Amazing! 200 questions! Let's go! Awesome! Well, fuck. Thanks for submitting, everybody. That was amazing. I hope you learned something new today. I hope, you have a great rest of your evening. Will I do this again? Sure. I'll make it like a non-regular thing, though. Like maybe every 6 months or something. Just in case things change. But this was really fun. I liked it. I like streams where we can just yap.